I'm on. You had it on the whole time.
What do you mean?
Okay. Imaginary numbers. Here it is. Anytime, anytime, anytime you have a negative inside your square root, it's going to be an imaginary number, an imaginary value. The square root of -1. Raise your right hand. Your other right. I, state your name. Solemnly swear to never write square root -1 in a solution. In a solution. Forever, never, 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 till the day I die and the day I get married. Both. Okay? So, the square root of -1 will be replaced. Oh, that's beautiful. You know what it is? I. Now, some of you will write this. Some of you that write really small do that. In theory, in the real life, it doesn't matter. I will always write it this way just because I love cursive. I don't know why. It's the only B+ I ever got in 4th grade. Handwriting. I thought I'd have straight A's for the first time in my life, and the only time, but I got a B+. Because of freaking handwriting. Okay, so what would this be? 2I, not I2. That's weird. Don't be weird. Okay, let's not be weird. 2I. So square root of -1? I. Square root of -1? Square root of -1? Have you ever seen that? Square root of -1, love you. It's awesome. I've said it to my wife 100 times. I even say it to my kids. Square root of -1 is what? Love you.
What?
I love you.
Oh.
So, please do these 4. Ready, go. Rattle them off. No, Clark, go. Why does everybody start out with when we answer? It's like you're grunting or something. Is that just a time filler? Why is it that we always ask for time to be quiet and silent? We need that to grow as a person. But when we're asked to give an answer, that quiet time or that thinking time is always filled with sound. Huh. What is it? I gave you all that time to think. Agree? Let's look at it a little differently. What is there perfection that will go into it? Well, first of all, I'm going to write square root -1 because I have a negative inside. Every time. Square root -1. What's perfection? Your thoughts are all right. We just got to be able to express them. What's this going to be represented as? I. What's that? Perfect or not? Show it off, baby. Yeah! Perfect? You stay. So how would I write this? Well, the square root of 9 is 3. I got to show that off. And that's how we'll write it. What's this one then? 5i square root 2. Perfect. What's this one? 10i square root 2. Notice 10i, number and then letter, and then the imaginary. What's this? Not 4 square root of 5, 2 square root of 5. Don't forget to show off your perfections. Any issues with this so far? Tin roof. Rusted.
Told you you would.
Hi, Sam. You were right, Sammy. How am I going to solve this? What do you do to both sides? BS. McCoy, what would you do? Square, not square them. Say it properly. Your thoughts are right. Your term is wrong. Square root them. Square root, there it is. So what's the square root of x squared? X. And what's the square root of negative 25? It's a negative inside the radical, so every single time you know you're going to have I. So this is 5I. It's not right though. What? How many solutions are there? There are 2 solutions. We need them. Solve that. Go. 5 seconds. 4. And then then we'll ask somebody and they'll go, okay, and that'll add some more time. Yeah, it is a 33. It's got a line through it because guess what I'm going to do here? I'll just show you. That's where it came from. Sorry. I'll get to this point for you. Look at that. That's called beauty. Yes. Taylor, what would you do next? Last step. Notice he said it without going, Great job, Taylor. That's really good. Your therapy's paying off. Okay. So this is... Oh, yeah! Plus or minus. Now, how do I write this? Jump, jump, jump. What? Oh, no. You're so close. I, and then there is no perfection in there. So you were about this close to being 100 billion%. Awesome. Questions so far? No? Good.
No.
Hey, can you add these real quick? What's 8 plus 2? 10. X plus negative 3x. Negative 2x. Now, normally we don't have the parentheses around these. I'm just showing you that if I did have them grouped together, it's still combining like terms. Now, when you have an imaginary number added or subtracted to a value, first of all, the imaginary comes on the butt side, the back side, the right side, whatever you want. Right side! Okay? So, these are called complex numbers. It's a number added to or subtracted to an imaginary value. And we'll explain more about this as we keep going. I want you to be able to work with these complex and imaginary numbers first, and then we'll apply them starting tomorrow. CLT. It's the exact same concept as we had above. Nobody even blinked at this. Now you have eyes. Your eyes are involved. What's 8 and plus 5? Good. Negative I plus 4I. And that's it. And we leave it like that. Number plus, and then the imaginary value is on the right side. Right side! Annie, do you agree? Okay. Now subtracting might be a little bit different, but same concept. Work with the numbers. These are like terms. 7 minus 3 and negative 6I minus negative 6I. It's 0. Subtracting is the same as adding the opposite, or leave change, that's the rule. Can you tell I teach lower level math? You gotta make up stuff all the time. So, that's where it comes from. 4, you're done. Taught junior high for a long time.
We can go to East.
Huh? Indian Hills. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me get this out of the way. Here is, we got to do some logical thinking here, okay? What's square root 3 times square root 3? 3. What would square root x times square root x be? X. So what is square root negative 1 times square root negative 1? In theory, negative 1. I know that I know it would be multiplied, Everybody agree with that? Can we agree on that? Okay. So, What did we say square root negative 1 was equal to, or be represented as? I. So, this could be I, and this could be I, correct? What is I times I? I squared. Just like x times x is x squared. So we get I squared, correct? So what's I squared equal to then? These are the same. Agree? These are the same. Therefore, these must be the... Here's point number 2. And we're going to even put a huge cloud. We're going to put a big smiley face, and we're going to put a star to the 100th power. That means it's got 100 stars around it. That's how important it is. I, state your name.
I
Will never write
will never write
I squared
I squared
as a solution.
as a solution
Ever.
ever
For the rest of my life.
for the rest of my life
Until I get married or I die, whichever comes first.
until I get married or
Russ is like,
just
that
like
makes
your
sense.
laugh.
No, it doesn't, Rustin. That's the whole point.
Your laugh,
Okay?
so.
Important. Important. Huge. So, ladies and gentlemen, I to the first we said was I. I to the second we're saying is negative 1. Correct?
Correct.
Anybody want to guess what I to the third is then? Well, do you agree that I to the third is the same as writing I squared times I? Well, what's I squared? Negative 1. What's negative 1 times I? Negative I. Yeah. Anybody want to guess what I to the fourth is? I squared times I squared. What's I squared? Negative 1. What's negative 1 times negative 1? Anybody want to guess what I to the fifth is? I to the fourth times I. What's I to the fourth? What's 1 times I? Uh-oh, we start doing what? Repeating. I guess there's a pattern. Patterns.
Patterns.
All right, you ready? I to the 101. It's I.
Give me.
I'm just trying to impress you. I'm really showing off right now. 5, 7, 8. Give me any number you want.
What math is this?
20, 45. Okay, we'll stop there. That's I also.
Imaginary.
I seem really smart right now. I just spit, sorry. I do, I seem really smart, but you can be smarter than me in like 1 second. Are you ready? You ready for the shortcut? Because we have a pattern as we continue. This next I to the 6 will be negative 1 and da-da-da. And it's like it keeps going. It's just repeating a pattern. Shortcut. Are you ready for the shortcut? Take your exponent. Divide it by 4. In this case, how many times does 4 go into 101? Don't care. I don't even care a little bit. Do you remember when you used to do that and you used to put a number and then you put that big R there? What did that mean? Remainder. In this case, down there it was remainder 1. Remainder 1 is I. Guess what remainder 2 would be? Do you know how to divide by 4 quickly on huge, ginormous numbers? To just get the remainder? Go to the last 2 and divide whatever your remainder is. There it is. So I can write this huge number. This is a great party trick. Ginormous. Just start rattling numbers and I'll write them as I hear them.
4, 2, 7, 8, 14, 13.
There you go. That's a big exponent, isn't it? It is. It's I. Go to your last 2. Divide by 4. 24. What's the remainder? 1. And really, the only thing I ever remember is this right here. I squared, because I to the third I can make by those two combined. I to the fourth I can make by that combined twice. I don't remember anything. I never remember a thing. Ask my wife. I know, but it sure saves a lot of enjoyment up here.
This is go talk shit to the people in class.
That's something this is an ACT score, or question. I think it's that one right there.
No, we have class. Our sophomore.
Aye. You know how to multiply? What are we going to do here? Soup down, get me started.
Okay, we're gonna make our own pass.
What?
I didn't hear you. Negative 24i, good. And? Huh?
4i.
Now, he's obviously not done because he said the term I squared.
Is it front camera?
What is 4i squared equal to?
It's front camera.
I didn't hear you. Negative 4. Well, I squared is negative 1, so what's 4i squared? Negative 4. Do I write the negative 4 first on the right or the left? What do I do with this negative 24i? What kind of number is this? Complex. Complex or complex? You say it however you want, Free Andrew. Whatever you want, okay? Chloe, say an F word that we can say out loud.
Oh.
Another one. 4-letter. Fish, that's a good one too. I like that one. That's not the mathematical term I was looking for, but I like it.
Fishy, fishy.
Foil. Foil. Annie, you were right. The sun came out tomorrow. You were correct. All right, so if I foil this, first two, negative 36. I do the last two. That's just my habit. You do what you want. This would be negative 14i squared. Small smile, 8i. Big smile, 63i. How do I simplify that? You gotta go to the bathroom?
No. What time is it? Okay.
The digital clock says 2:13.
Okay. 2:13. My dad's gonna pick us up.
Nice.
Why not?
What'd you do with the camera? Oh, Gallus, good. See, that's called responsibility.
There we go.
Hey, great job. Thanks, ladies.
Welcome.
Whoa, get back here. All right, all right. So, how do I simplify that? 8 and 63, I got 36 and negative 14i squared. Why am I saying that these two go together? What's negative 14i squared equal to? 14. And then negative 36 plus 14 is negative 22. This is... That's a great problem. I like that. That's multiplying. You're going to have to FOIL. Combine like terms. Jacob, question.
Oh, I'm so.
This is it? You got a question?
No, I don't.
Okay. So, multiply. Oh, geez, somebody got this dissipated. Remember we had 0 buts? Made your pants fall down and it made you stupid? Remember that? And then we had radical buts and those were disgusting. Sabrina always visualized it. I thought it was weird, but that's her thing. No radical buts, no 0 buts. Guess what? No imaginary butts. Could you imagine what an imaginary butt looks like? Imagine it. For example, if I had 4 over 2i, let me erase and so you can kind of isolate on it. Is that an imaginary butt, yes or no? What would you multiply top and bottom by to get rid of it? Everything? You could do negative 2i, sure. You'd have to do top and bottom. You do a lot of reducing if you do that. It's very simple, just multiply by I. What do I get on top? 4i, what's 2i times I? Negative 2. Some of you are already figuring it out. When I see in the hall, I'm going to go I squared. You're going to go -1. I squared. -1. So this becomes 2i squared, which is 4i over -2. And then if you want to reduce it, that would be awesome. So what am I going to do here? Do you remember how to handle this? Kaser knows for sure. She might be the only one. Kaser, come on. That's a setup for you.
1 plus 4.
Yep, see? This would be the twin, correct? We don't want twins. We got to have almost. How many of you can multiply the bottom in 1 second? Nobody? Okay, how about 5 seconds? Sydney Mae can. Watch. Watch this. Ready, go. What is it?
0.
No.
1.
No. Keep going. We did this all day long.
14.
Remember how do you multiply almost twins quickly? Braverman, do you remember? What's the first two multiplied together?
1.
I didn't hear you. 1. What's the last two multiplied together? 69 squared. What do we put in between? What's a plus times a minus? So 1 minus 69 squared is what? 17, because it becomes 1 minus 69 squared is -16. So we get 17 here. How am I going to multiply the top here? Chloe, say your F word again.
12.
Yeah. 7 times 1 is 7. 20i squared. Let's see how fast we can do it. That's the first and the last. Small smile is 5i. Big smile is what?
28.
And so 5 and 28 is 33, isn't it? What's 20i squared plus 7? -13, because this is the same as -20. So I get -13. Do I write that on the left or the right?